No video for me. Okay, guys. I'm still sick.
Oh no. Hope you didn't
Yeah.
get me. I've been sick for.
No, I had COVID starting last week.
Oh,
It's around again.
yeah. People are coming in or yeah, we have that too.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you feel better soon.
Oh, I'm feeling lots better, but I just don't have makeup or anything like that,
Oh,
like
I just looked at myself. I don't have any on either, and I thought I put some on this morning.
Well,
We've been working.
and I'll be a fly on the wall because you can hear my there's a gardener who's doing some weed whacking here in the background.
Oh, nope. Actually, we can't. I don't know about Cheryl,
You
but I
can't
can't
hear you? Oh, you can't hear
hear
me?
anything.
Really? Oh.
I can hear you, not the weed whacker.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Well, Cheryl looks good. Maybe if I move back. I think, oh, before people come on, I just noticed that we need to come up with deadlines for deliverables. I think I sent you a text, Manette. Do you think, I don't know we'll have enough time today because we need to work on KPI, but
Yeah. We
um
can
sh-
we can offline that.
okay.
Now you
And
can hear? Can you hear the weed whacker? No. No? Nope.
no.
You're the only
It's
weed
so
whacker.
loud. Oh my gosh.
No, the new microphones Banana are pretty good.
Yeah.
Your
They cut out
glasses,
all the noise.
Cher.
What's that? Ben.
I love your glasses.
Oh, thank you. They're caddis. Hi,
Hi, Leila.
Leila.
Hello, everybody.
Kaylee. Long time
Hey,
no see. Oh my God.
I know.
Love your hair.
I know I was gonna
My
say that.
hair.
I love your hair. Did you cut
Thank
it
you.
short?
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
cut it. I cut it. I've been gradually cutting it shorter and shorter.
mm,
It's
I just
great.
love it. I love it.
yes, really cute. Very
And
nice.
people say all the time, "Oh, because it's easy to take care." And I'm like, "No, well, it is, but I just like it."
Mhm. Looks good on you. Good choice.
Thanks,
Carried so well, girl.
Mhm.
Silver Sister over here.
Yeah. Annette, do you know who was planning to attend?
Let me check right now.
I'm gonna go off camera because I'm going to eat my lunch, but I'll
Yes.
come. Sorry, I've got an all staff meeting training going on right now.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
Bob Kosasa, Bob Agres from Kosasa Foundation,
Mm.
Jan Derger,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and Eric Pasco.
Small group.
Yeah, small group.
It's
So
okay.
there's Lisa Simmons is a question mark, and Candy Ho from Hawaiian, from UH is also a question mark, but I'm gonna try.
Okay.
So Lisa Trang, but Trang is traveling. Adele and Kanui, Elizabeth is, you only had 16 anyway. So you have like 8 who said they're gonna come, but that includes our staff too.
Okay. Wait,
But
maybe
the
I'm.
staff may not, because they're busy at preparing for tomorrow's meeting.
Oh,
Which I'm not going to be able to make.
I know,
Got moved.
missing you. So,
Annette, I'm not going to be able to make the
oh,
July.
the Synergy Summit.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna actually tell people that that's considered a board meeting because OIP said two things, and it's like a board meeting. It cannot be just a summit because
Mm.
one, there's more than two. board members who's going to be there. And
Oh, geez.
yeah, I know. And then the other thing is that some of these things may end up in the board for board approval. So based on that, it's like considered a board meeting. So we actually will be calling roll.
Oh,
I know, OIP, so. Ah,
and you,
Oh,
oh,
go ahead,
go
Brandy.
ahead.
I'm sorry. No, no.
I was just asking about quorum. So you're gonna need quorum?
I'm gonna need quorum. I'm
Okay.
gonna, yeah. Any chance that you can be there at all?
For the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can be I can be
I
there.
know.
It starts at 8.
Starts at 8, and we need the quorum from the beginning and then at the end. Because in between, we're not having any like board action.
Mm-hmm.
It's really to start the meeting, you need 16 people.
Yeah.
I've noticed though, Banette, that lately they're having us take roll again.
Oh, they have to. You know why? Because if it's everybody in the room is present, we don't need to take roll. It can be voice vote. But because it's Zoom,
Oh,
yeah, it's like somebody can pipe in who's not a member of the board,
Mm.
right? So technically, you can do voice vote for the people in the room, and then for those who are on Zoom, you're gonna do roll call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because according to AG, you cannot just do voice vote when you don't know who's in the room on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
May I make,
Well,
may I make a suggestion?
Yeah,
Your
Just
your
a sec-
microphone's
muted.
weird.
Yeah,
Oh, because it's up in the air? There we go.
Yeah,
Is that better?
yes.
Okay.
it sounded really far
Uh,
away.
I flipped it up because I was biting my sandwich. Okay. Just a suggestion because I know how hard it is to plan meetings and you've got to deal with sunshine law and all that. But I know for me, and I know I'm not the only one, our calendars get booked up
Hmm,
so far ahead sometimes. And so I want to attend more things, but I mean, more events related to WDC.
hmm.
But a lot of times, by the time it comes out, it's, a few weeks away or something, and I can't make it. Um, I
Oh,
just don't know. I don't know if it's possible to send out some sort of a doodle or whatever they call it so that people can show if they're going to be available, and that would help you with quorum too. I'm just thinking.
hmm.
I know
So,
it's hard because I have to
no,
do it
no,
too.
it's okay.
Yeah.
August 20, you have it on your calendar, right? That's our next board meeting.
If it's a board meeting that was sent out a while ago, I have it. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But like the
So,
Synergy Summit is, I
are you not gonna
hopefully,
be there too as well?
I hopefully will be able to make it.
Okay, because in your case, you can designate. The private sector cannot designate, but the ex officios can designate.
Yeah. The problem is we're all at the same,
On July 9th? Oh, not tomorrow. I know
no,
yeah, we're not. We
yeah.
had good attendance. We'll have like 27 people tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
We're good. We're okay.
That's good.
But a lot of like texting and pleading.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know how that goes.
I know how it is.
Hey, Rona and Cheryl, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure whether you want to just
Mhm.
start, and it's okay. I'm gonna text people and say, are you coming? Or like
Sure.
Bob Cosasa. But if you want to start or you want to wait, it's up to you.
Um,
Wait another minute or so.
yeah.
Another 5 minutes.
Because if we start and it's just Leia, then we can go through it really fast. So we'll
Right?
catch up.
How about we just send you the slides and we're done?
Yeah.
Is this a meeting where we have to have,
5 more minutes. This is all being recorded, by the way.
is this a meeting where we have to have a quorum or anything?
Oh, good question. Do Bennett? I think she's texting.
I am. I'm
don't-
texting. What's up?
I was just asking if this is a meeting that requires any kind of quorum, this meeting today.
No, no
Okay,
quorum. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Committee.
This is, we're actually exempted from sunshine for this one.
Okay.
Did you get to have lunch, Cheryl?
A little bit. I've been eating bites in between.
Mm.
So my COVID happened the end of May and it hit my stomach. So my stomach's still a little like weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been eating like rice, boiled chicken. When I
Oh,
eat something that's kind of iffy, my stomach goes, ugh. So
yikes.
yeah, I eat small food. Eat small amounts now.
Mm-hmm. It's like a
There's
good
no-
diet. It's a weight loss plan, an unplanned
Something.
weight
It's
loss.
something. I
Yeah.
stopped drinking coffee.
Oh, yeah.
That I haven't had any alcohol in a long time, but anything that produces, that can be challenging to my stomach, I just
Mm-hmm.
eat a lot of rice cakes,
Mm, that's
which
good.
is really boring. Oh, gee, another rice cake. Some applesauce.
Oh, yeah, that does sound
I'm
boring.
eating like baby food.
Ah.
Blah, bananas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we could start. Let's see. Banette, do I have your thumbs up to start?
Hey, you're the boss.
Huh? Hardly. All right, so welcome to Pillar 4. No, Pillar 3. I thought we were.
Three, yeah.
We're Pillar 3.
Mm-hmm.
Removing barriers to workforce success. My name is Cheryl Cross. It's such a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce my cohort colleague, Rona Fukumoto. She represents Lanakila Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to the next slide. While she moves us to the next slide, I'll just talk about the agenda. We're going to have a robust meeting today, and we'll be welcoming you and sort of framing what this conversation is about. We'll be recapping what our first Pillar 3 meeting was on, meeting on March 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the overview of North Star Goal progress. I think that's what, I'm wondering if I'm reading from the right one here.
I'm chuckling because Banette, I'm sorry. So Banette has control of the slides.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, okay, hang on a second.
can
Might
you
as
go to
well.
the next slide, please?
Yeah. And
Yes.
then
Sorry, I'm texting people to, where are you? Kind of thing. Okay, so let me just go ahead and share again. Okay. Where are we now? Here.
The
This one?
second slide, slide 2.
Slide 2, okay.
Excellent. So we're going to go through the overview of the North Star Goal progress, and then an activity. We'll have a discussion and then wrap up and closing remarks. Next slide. So the meeting purpose, when we originally got together, we really wanted to come together as a group to coalesce and advance the State Unified Workforce Development Plan. Our job in these pillars is to identify the priorities for each. And each of us has a certain subset of rules. One is to identify the current workforce programs and partnerships to see where we can dig in a little bit more, how we might improve or even expand them. We'll be prioritizing initiatives for the state and identifying key action steps for each pillar, including ours. Also, our goal is to set very clear goals and measures of success. That's our KPIs. We're also taking offline meetings on that. Rona and I will be meeting along with Banette to make sure that we're tracking the progress for our pillar strategies. Identifying data needs and gaps. This is big, and I think every single pillar will be discussing this and has this as a clear agenda. We can't tell a story without good data. And data is very convincing, especially when we go in front of our governor and say, Governor Green, this is really what we propose, and to his staff. So I think it's important for both the governor and lieutenant governor to see our data needs and where those gaps exist so that we can identify solutions. We're going to also identify funding opportunities from the state, both federal and state, and then private sources that may support workforce initiatives and recommend program changes based on the new workforce trends and hopefully employer feedback. We'll be submitting our final recommendations to the council for review. Next slide. You'll see from the Unified Plan implementation timeline where we're at. So we are currently in the middle there. You'll see that for July, we're going to be unveiling the North Star to workforce stakeholders. We have a meeting scheduled that will be held at, I believe, Honolulu Community College on the 9th of July. And we'll be getting reports from each of the Catalyst teams. So you'll see the progress that we've had back in January where we started, the February to May when we started really coalescing as individual groups and pulling information together. There's a lot of synergy there. We hope to keep this momentum high because September 2025, we have our Future of Work conference, and then of course, December 2025 when we submit our report. Next slide, please. Every one of our pillar objectives is focused on these four priorities. We want to be in alignment with economic growth. And you can read this slide just as easily as I can speak to it, but our goal is to tie economic development with workforce development. We want to address core issues like labor shortages, living wage issues, economic diversification, and jobs for the future. This is very important for our pillar because our job is to remove the barriers for workforce success. Education and training alliances, our goal is to build stronger bridges with Hawaii's educators and training providers. We know that since a strong education and training ecosystem will yield lifelong learners, right? Not just us, but children as well, people coming up through the school system, those students who will eventually go into our workforce. And of course, our transitioning military, the military spouses who come to the island, all sorts of things. So we're also talking about adults as well. Removing barriers to workforce success is a huge topic, but we will be prioritizing services to vulnerable populations with barriers to employment. We're looking particularly at immigrants, especially those from neighbor islands, and veterans and military spouses. But overall, it's all about the workforce synergy. And you'll see a lot of these words in the structure of this. Thank you, Bennett Misalucha. Synergy. And I think the word energy is really what propels us. So we're establishing integration and collaboration among those who are laboring in the workforce in the development space, including those in the public and private sector, and also the philanthropic sectors or those circles. Next slide, please.
Leah has a question before we go on.
Yep.
Hands up. Oh, you have to
say that again. Can you speak up a little bit?
Sorry. Yes, sorry to interrupt you, Cheryl. You're really on a roll. You're on a roll here.
Oh, I can't see your little hand up there. I apologize. You're over
okay,
here.
It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to ask, so these pillar objectives are coming straight out of the Unified State Plan, right?
Yes.
Okay, because it's just hurts my heart to not see people with disabilities under the removing barriers to workforce success. But if that's how the Unified State Plan is, then
Can I just tell you though, and Lay, I'm just going to share with you the sensitivity of this. Because remember how you have in your report for the quarterly board meeting, you talked about DEI, right? Remember that? Do you?
yes.
Well, AG took a look at all that. They
Oh,
had it all removed, all of that. And even on the website, all of that, it got scrubbed. And they said,
wow.
yeah, I know. They're so
Okay.
sensitive to it. And they said, because the federal government is really insisting, they don't want it to be where they would penalize the government would penalize the state. So they said, you could practice it, but just don't label it as DEI.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
our
I understand.
our mission remains the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
The words have changed. The mission is the same.
Thank you.
So yes, and I think that reducing or eliminating barriers for anyone will include everyone.
Yeah,
Right.
I hate to paint with a broad brush, but I think this is just the culture we're in right now.
Got it. I understand. I should have thought of that. Thank you.
It's okay. We've had a lot of meetings on this.
Okay.
So lastly, before I turn it over to my colleague Rona, I just want to reiterate that, just like we're doing right here, this is a discussion. And we're so grateful for everyone who comes to the table, whether you're here in person or if you're dialing in or watching this at a later date. I want to just say thank you. The entire thing that we want to do here. Can I go to the next slide, Bennett?
sure, hang on. Sorry, hang on. I'm struggling with this. Sorry.
Okay. So while she pulls up that slide, I will continue to wax poetic on how much your participation matters and why we want to create workforce synergy across public, private, philanthropic, and nonprofit
Can you
sectors.
see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
The goal here is to create a strong alignment, ensuring a unified approach to addressing labor market needs, maximizing resource utilization, fostering innovative collaborations. So all in all, before I sign off and give this over to Rona, I just want to say thank you. Our goal is the same as yours. And even though we brought these things up, that we've changed language, the mission is the same. Establishing integration and collaboration amongst those who labor in the workforce development space, including those in the public, private, and philanthropic sectors. So let's get those folks involved. And I'm going to turn over the next set of slides to Rona, my colleague from Lanakila Pacific. Over to you, Rona.
Thank you, Cheryl. Sorry, Bennett, the slides are not up. Yeah,
Wait,
maybe
hang
if
on.
you hit that enable editing, does that make it easier? I'm the last person to ask, but
No,
no,
I'm
just
used to having two screens, but I'm working from home, so I only have one, so I'm kind of like
Mhm.
struggling. But
No.
that's okay, no worries. Yeah, we'll be
Okay,
fine.
yeah, well, it's up. Yep, and I know what you mean. So looking back to help us move forward, when we last met, we used a Mentimeter and a Padlet to identify, well, first the Mentimeter, sorry, the Padlet, which we did second, but it helped us to identify key themes. And what emerged was that data is very important, and that's a key theme across all of the pillars. We're going to need data to analyze and support our objectives. Um, Something I think specific to our pillar is that there are a lot of current programs, and we had some great neighbor island examples that our team members talked about, and some of these are already addressing barriers and maybe a good source of data. From that, what also emerged was that communicating the information about the existing programs, both on Oahu and the neighbor islands, um, is a gap. So we have the resources, we have successes, but the gap is that it's not getting out to the general public, not even getting out amongst ourselves. There's just so much information, and we need to find a way to provide that to everyone. Um, then we actually started off with a Mentimeter, which helped us to prioritize our objectives. So you see there, the first, and this is ranked by need and importance, that our group decided that number one would be, sorry, to identify and address key barriers to employment. So we can just jump in. And this is the part where we need to do some work. So we identified the objective, ranked it. This one's number one. We talked about what we want to see. So in this case, we want to assess common challenges faced by priority populations, for example, childcare needs, transportation, um, digital access, criminal records, and here disabilities. And we want to develop solutions. So on the Padlet, we kind of got into what's already happening, which created some possible key metrics to look at. And so what I've done here is bulleted information from the Padlet as a starting point to talk about key metrics that we might want to use um, for to know that we're actually moving the needle in identifying and addressing key barriers. So the first one was census data. This was brought up by Matt Stevens, I believe. He talked about data a lot, and I guess census data is one example. Dan talked about the DXP. I guess it's a database that the P20 folks use. It's a data branch that P20 uses. It collects workforce data that links what's going on in the DOE to programs at the university or in the university system, and then following these students out to the workforce. So I think right now there's some good information on the healthcare system. They might have some other areas of work, but it's not for everything. But again, an example of data gathering that's already going on and possible data that we could use. So I know it's a small group. Leah, we're going to lean on you a little. Any other options or thoughts you have about collecting data to show we're moving the needle on identifying these barriers to employment?
Ooh, the pressure.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
I'm aware of the DXP program because we also are a partner in that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, thank you, census.
Is there VR data that might
I mean,
show?
we have data to show how many people with what types of disabilities that we are working with. And then we also could probably pull a report showing of those that are successfully employed, what types of disabilities they have.
Mhm.
Um, we have all kinds of, data on our
Mhm.
program.
I wonder. Um,
And it's not only disability related barriers, it could be that they have vocational training needs, the needs for accreditation, or, you know, uh, educational certificates of some kind.
is there
Um,
something that moves so like that where they got an educational certificate or maybe finished some type of degree and then moved on to work? Do you show that progression?
we
So,
we can, yeah, we can. And we can also show the associated wages for
mhm,
someone who received, say, higher ed or vocational training versus someone who didn't,
okay.
or people that have received measurable skills gains of any kind, and how that relates to getting a job and keeping a job long term, because those are things that um, all the WIOA programs have to report on. So us, Department of Labor, would also have that. Adult Ed would also have that.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure we all report on similar things to the federal government.
So Cheryl on the net, do you think that measurable skills and how it relates to job attainment would be would address that barrier piece, at least for skills?
You know what? Let's not, that's kind of getting too deep into the
Oh,
weeds
okay.
right
Okay.
now.
Uh,
My suggestion is let's kind of like go through the slides and particularly decide what you would like. I think that ultimately at the end of the day,
Mhm.
what are you going to present on July 9th?
Okay.
Because the nuances, the data,
Mhm.
needs are actually can be integrated with everyone else's because data seems to be such a big part. And in fact, we're going to have a conversation about that separately because we're going to, when we talk about the North Star, a lot of it is data driven as far as measuring where we're at and having a dashboard of, how we're measuring ourselves. So let's, yeah,
Mhm.
let's put that on the parking lot right now and
Okay.
then move forward with the rest of the discussion.
Okay.
Sorry, can I add
Yeah,
one more quick thing? Can I add?
yes, please.
I think that for this one, it also might be helpful to somehow survey the the people in those priority populations, if there's a way to do that. The
Mm.
agencies, nonprofits, whoever is working with them, as well as the employers.
That's a
Just
good
my
point.
thought.
So survey service providers or the participants or both?
Both and the
Well,
employers.
there's no data, there's no existing, even old data that would flush it out right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
See, so one of the things that um, WDC has access to some GA funds, right? General,
Mhm.
uh, what do you call that?
Yeah.
General accounts funds.
Mhm, mhm,
And we are really looking at like, what can we fund that would support not just your, but others as well. So
mhm,
especially if we can identify multiple use for that data,
mhm.
we can allocate the resources.
Well, that would be huge, I think,
Yeah,
and
it is.
definitely multiple. Um, just to know if 80% of the people we're serving have childcare issues, money
Yeah,
has to go there, right? We don't know. We know
yeah,
that people have a disability who come to us, but all the other factors,
yeah.
we learn, piece by piece and gather data. So anyway, yes, a survey, some kind of formal data gathering survey would be great for not just this if
Yeah,
workforce.
so we're having a conversation on the data needs and what is primary and what has multiple uses so that then we can
Yeah.
dedicate and allocate resources for them for the PY 2023 unexpended funds.
Okay. Well, Bennett, good example. The hunger or the food bank did a hunger study.
Hmm,
Everyone's using that information. Like
really?
one in
Oh,
three families is you know food insecure. That
yeah.
drives a lot, right? There, as far as
Oh,
education
yeah.
for the kids, and then there are also the Alice population. We talk about Alice all the time. Now that
Yeah.
we know they're there and how many, if we can figure out what's the key barriers in employment,
Mm-hmm.
then people can use that in discussions for this
Yeah.
and
I,
funding, federal funding too. So
so
huge.
let's have a conversation and I'm gonna make sure that you're part of that conversation, Ron.
Okay, and we're gonna make that a bullet, some kind of
Yeah.
survey. Thank you, Lorraine.
Mm.
We'll add that. Okay, so next slide, number, is it
Oh,
number
wait,
two?
sorry. Uh, wait, two.
Yes. So, second on our priority list was improve outreach and engagement strategies. So, we want to implement targeted outreach, connect marginalized communities with workforce programs, and use culturally competent approaches. Um, so, some of the possible key metrics we're measuring the success of the WDC media and public awareness campaign. But maybe that's already being measured, and I don't know how granular
So,
the information.
yeah, we're probably gonna do that. So we're launching starting no, June 30th, the media campaign that's happening for until September. And then in October or November, because you'd be so shocked at how AJC's, I think there was like 8% awareness. It was really pathetic. So we're gonna do the, heavy blast. And then in October, we're going to do another pulse check to see whether that has increased and kind of like similar population. And then, but yes, that is actually being taken into account and planned for.
Good. So, yeah, it feels like that's a good using whatever you learn from that public awareness campaign would be a great outreach strategy
Mm,
for a couple of reasons, which we're going to get to. Also, the Hawaii Island Community First outreach system is already in place. They're
mm.
gathering data. It covered a wide variety of needs. Um,
Who did that? Is it Hawaii County itself?
I believe so, yes.
So is it Research and Development Office? Like Benson Medina?
You know, that didn't come out. We can find out.
Okay, would you kindly? Yeah.
So there may be, I think there are already data sources for this particular um, objective. Okay.
Can
Anything else anyone want to add or suggestion?
can we
I
convince other
Mhm.
other islands to do the same?
Yes, they might have projects on their islands.
Yeah.
Oh, because the workforce development outreach, the AJC is only Oahu. That's a good thought.
but there are AJCs, and actually I was thinking of looking at AJC metrics because there are AJCs in all the counties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Some more effective than others.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if Oahu goes well, maybe that would be the suggestion for each island to do an
I mean,
outreach.
so the one that you said says Hawaii Island, so meaning like Big Island.
Big island. Mhm.
Mm.
So that's a program. So they're already collecting data versus something they're starting like the outreach or the media campaign. But
Mm.
so we could do two things. We could suggest or look for programs already in place on each island and gather data. Or we can suggest, especially if it goes well on Oahu, that each AJC does a media campaign
Mm.
to gather data. But that's getting into the weeds a little. So, okay, moving on. Unless anyone has any other suggestions for outreach and engagement. Okay. Uh, Third priority for us was expanding access to workforce services and training. So we want to ensure that education and job training programs are accessible, affordable, and tailored to individuals facing employment barriers. So collecting data on this, and we already talked about some of the VR data, the data that you collect at VR. Suggested was a universal intake process. And I guess if there is a universal intake process, gathering all kinds of data um, would be easier. And I'm not sure where that is because the person who suggested it said it's part of the WIOA Act. But you might know better. Um, and then there are also some workforce initiated training opportunities that Kelly Ueoka talked about, or like the one Kelly talked about for the tech industry, where they're using free Microsoft or Google training. And at the community college level, they've also adopted that and are using that curriculum in their programs. So those are some sources of data that we can gather. Anything else that just
That
comes to mind?
universal intake is so big if we can accomplish that. Yeah, Lay.
Yes. Uh, yes. And data collection. Yes,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
unified data collection is something that we've all been struggling with for a while between all of our agencies, all of the partners.
So what is the problem? Other than this, it's a
I
systemic issue, right?
um I asked about that because this has been going on since before I started, but
Mm.
my understanding was and that some cost was thrown out and all the agencies would have to share in some huge cost and then the conversation stopped.
Mm.
But I don't have anything in black and white about that. That's what I heard.
Mhm. You know, might be the same issue, but related to food. We are just talking about this, and what they're saying is that it's the data capturing system. So the state has so many antiquated, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that just to get all this data in one place is impossible with the tech they have. And then the cost of new tech or even in hours of implementation is huge. And so no one wants to go there.
Yeah.
Well, the Chief Information Officer,
Mhm.
Christine Sakuda, will be at the at the Synergy Summit.
Mm.
We've invited her so she can listen to our
Mhm.
plans and our ideas. Because at the end, what we would like to do is institutionalize this. So it's not just our effort and initiative, it
Mhm.
really should be the state's. So if the state takes ownership of this, it solves, I don't know, more than half of our problem because
Wow.
it then behooves them to do something about it. So we're making it their issue as well as ours. That's the
Okay.
goal. So if for instance, the appetite is there to, make sure that the systems do work collaboratively or talk to each other, whatever,
Mhm.
that'd be great. Then it's not just us like a lone wolf crying in the wilderness.
Mhm.
It becomes really a state problem and they'll do something. So it becomes institutional. It it's not going to be just our problem.
Mhm. That would be great.
There's also issues that are always brought up about confidentiality and protecting people's
Yeah.
um, information and different federal regulations overseeing different programs that you're not
Mm.
allowed to share. And so I understand why those safeguards are there, but it does present another barrier when we try
Yeah.
and gather information. Yeah.
It's
The
just
irony, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
It's all state, so it's not
Yeah.
like it's being shared outside of, right? It's all state agencies, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody just has to have the political will to do it. When you think about it, kind of like when President Kennedy said, they say why, and we say why not, right?
Hmm. There is a universal homeless system. Like every
Mhm.
person who's homeless is
Yeah, yeah,
in.
it's there. Yeah.
The
I've
fight
seen,
for that was huge because all the same issues, but it's working. Yeah.
yeah, they can track it now. Yeah, everybody has, yeah,
Mhm.
when it's on that system, once you're in that system, everybody has a shared
Mhm.
yeah, I've seen it.
There's rules. You have to sign off. You have to have training.
Mhm.
Each nonprofit. And now we're not talking about all state entities. We're talking about every nonprofit who touches any
Mhm.
homelessness. So if that it can be addressed that way, and then there's no duplication of services. We know exactly where
Mhm.
it is. How you can't find someone because they move around. Well, now we can. It's just
Mhm.
I just throw that out there. But okay, next slide. Two more.
Okay.
Um, Number four was strengthening collaboration with community based organizations and social services. So, building cross sector partnerships to create a holistic support system that addresses both employment and life stability needs. I have, well, there were no no suggestions on the Padlet. I want to say that there is a collaboration. I think there's a lot of work being done. How to measure it, though, might come back to that universal intake or a survey to see what the needs are and who's meeting them. Any thoughts?
Mm.
No.
I wish I could come up with something
No, I don't.
brilliant, but
Yeah. Strong collaboration with community-based organization social services.
Mhm.
So how do you do it now? Okay, so you have a job seeker
Mhm.
and you have to have wraparound services for them at the AJC. Do they connect with Lanakila? How do they do it?
Right now, they do. I think either we refer them to the AJC or the AJC will, um, I guess,
Is it is it a good idea to have, and I hate to just add
Mhm.
another meeting to your calendar, but would it make sense to have a collaboration meeting once a month to kind
Yeah,
of talk about specifics,
mhm.
specific clientele? I don't know.
That did come up. That's in the slide 13 there.
Mm.
Perhaps. I think it came up as something that was done when it was called the One Stop. There was a monthly collaborative meeting where everyone came in. It's under the American Job Center piece there, or to bring
Yeah,
back the regular convening to discuss all the resources.
I like that idea actually.
Carrie said it, and Nazi saw it because I reviewed the recording that, and you said you liked it. Exactly.
Really?
Information, sharing information. That's one thing, but also, I think that objective also talks about things like not just work services, but if someone needs housing assistance or if someone needs,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So how to pull that all together is quite frankly beyond me. I don't know where we'd start to measure that or even
How many people, how many referrals are we talking about on a given month?
for Lanakila.
Yeah.
Oh, not that many. But then we don't do those ancillary services like nutrition or housing. We're doing the same work,
Mm.
employment. So there's not too much.
I guess I don't know
Because
enough to ask the right questions, but
I
it
should say also because VR is there, so they would really go to the VR staff at the AJC first, and perhaps that VR staff would make the referral to a nonprofit. So there's a couple of different ways, but that is well built out. Employment services and the nonprofits providing it. I think it's the other services that we're talking about here.
mm,
So slide 11,
okay, 11. Okay.
the life stability needs. But okay, so we can move on. So last one was to enhance supportive services and wraparound programs, which is similar to
Yeah, it is.
what we're talking about. There was a healthcare system example on the, I think this was Big Island to Unite Us. Um, it's technology supported. So back to if there was a universal system or some kind of tech based referral source that might work, and we can gather the data from there. And then also, I'm not quite clear on this, but I think WIOA is funding some programs or the state is funding some programs um, to expand the use of WIOA. So assuming that it's a contracted service, there should be some data that's going to be gathered, and perhaps we could use that. But I think we find ourselves in the same position. How do we measure what's going on in the whole community as far as holistic support? And I'm sorry, or should we focus on who's partnering and how to measure this one?
What do you think?
Cheryl, you've been quiet.
I'm over here quietly just watching you. Let me make this smaller. You're talking about wraparound services.
Yeah, so building cross-sector partnerships to create a holistic support system. Um, and how do we measure that to know that we've done it?
I mean, it goes back to our original, we need that net. Healthcare
Mhm.
has it. Homeless groups have it. Excuse me, the homeless
Mhm.
support system has it. In order for us to really get good, we can't start with bad data because then everything's built on that. I really think that we can't enhance anything or put money towards something unless we know what's needed.
Mhm.
So, which sounds like a broken record. I know the whole goal of this is to understand what the gaps and the needs are so that we can enhance it. But we know what they are. We can guess. We know a few of them. We can
Mhm.
either add to what's existing and strengthen and go old school grassroots, enhance those wraparound services. I mean, I feel like in Hawaii, we're very reliant on just the institutional knowledge of the staff. The staff knows where to put people because they've been doing it a while. But as those workers within the city, states, and counties, you know, they're going to age out. They're going to move on. And are there the people coming in after them? Are they going to have that same sort of acumen? Are they going to know where the bodies are, where to put these people, or are these folks just going to fall through? So I think there's just a lot we can do that are, again, going back to Hawaii old school ways, sort of education programs, and it's more like learning and development. Are we onboarding these new people with the understanding of what the different systems are within the state? Well, let's just start city, counties, and states. Is that part of, that's one thing we can look at. And as an HR professional, I always look and see, you know, how much are we educating our people on what's down the hall? You'd be surprised this happens even in corporations. So the current generation of workers are very robust. Hawaii is a very different place, but how are we looking at that? That I think would enhance until we can get the good data to really build the programs to hit those big gaps. A long way of saying, I think that there's ways we can do this. It's going to make some effort and take some effort. It's going to get a lot of HR involved and managers of divisions and, you know, making them understand that this is important to keep our institutional knowledge alive and for those folks to be those good referrals, those ambassadors. Just my 2 thoughts.
Yes. Okay, so what I got from that was back to that survey. We need to have the data information. We need to know what's being provided and who's providing it. And if it's any good, I think that would also come out, that who's doing a good job. This part I just added, but I know people have been talking about mapping. So from the information that we get on the survey, has anyone seen good mapping of services?
No,
So that might be a Matt Stevens question, if there's such a thing.
yeah, I
But
think so.
then we'll see the full picture and we'll know, you know, what's out there, and we'll see gaps if we
Yeah.
can map it. And then Cheryl, you also talked about educating staff in, I'm assuming both the government and the community-based organizations, and I suppose even for profits. I'm not sure how to do that, but
Yeah, that's the toughie.
I'm kind of curious whether this is something that WDC or someone else can spearhead, like Aloha United Way. Would that be? Because this is, I don't know. It seems like,
Well, Michelle Bartel.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, the mapping that you're talking about, it may be more than just workforce development. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I just don't want to
Mm.
be go outside our territory. I don't know.
Yes. Someone might know of an effort already being done for social service that we might want to make sure that employment is included. So yeah, I think we can do a little more research on that.
Yeah,
Who
would you kindly yeah. Or
would we talk to?
maybe Hano. Hano can do something.
Maybe.
Hank? Anu,
What do you think? Because that's like,
the nonprofit group of nonprofits.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can ask.
If they get a grant,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Possibly.
we
Clear,
can if we
very
can find a
clear
grant for them to do
swim
it.
lanes. Yeah. To spearhead, to get, well, if we can get the nonprofits talking, I think that that's half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And they do communicate through Hanu. So I see your point. Is that what you're saying, Bennett?
Yes, yes. Because it seems like, okay, and again, I could be wrong here. I don't know enough about it to be certain, but it seems like there's more here than just employment, and there's actually a lot of, when you map out the social services involved,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually a lot of applications to this. So, and employment just being one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't see whether WDC should, take that lead there. And I'm certainly not averse to taking that, that leadership role if I feel that it's within our Juliana, our purview. But I certainly
Mm-hmm.
don't want to overstep boundaries either. So that's why maybe Hano might be a good place. Again, let's put that
Mhm.
in the parking lot.
Okay, that sounds good. So, sorry, slide 13.
Okay.
We saw it a little earlier, but it um, just lifts out some of the themes. So again, data was one. Um, Matt was saying it's an island community. We might have general data, but you want to look at rural populations. You want to look at immigrant populations. You want to just to get more granular to understand the different barriers. So as we look at data, and I think it just points back to a really good survey, some kind of funded study that's going to help us get to the data we need. Um,
Hmm.
so thank you for bringing that up. Going across outreach and engagement strategies. Again, Dan said it was that he ranked it as a high priority, not because it's not happening, but because the information's not shared, and that kind of speaks to um, how the last two objectives, right? How do we get wraparound services or create the holistic approach and then enhance our outreach? Um, we talked about the American Job Centers, bringing back a monthly convening, perhaps putting more services. I think Carrie said adult education was there before. There might be, there might be other services. Maybe there's a food bank, or a pantry as part of it, or representatives from nutrition services there once a week, and that might be our answer to, the holistic approach and addressing some of the life needs beyond employment, so that we know that they can be successful in employment. And finally, I think Bob wasn't necessarily talking about holistic approach, meaning uh, the life needs. He was talking about not looking at youth and their issues as separate from someone with a disability, as separate from an immigrant. Can we look at all of the barriers? And of course, there's some specialties, but to look at all the barriers and lift out some of the a holistic approach to really pushing employment and affecting population so as not to call them out was part of his point, especially in this federal environment where you don't want to maybe talk about immigrants. They might lose funding if you start to say, hey, we have these great programs for immigrants. Um, we don't know. And then he also talked about bringing services to folks versus having them come to the AJC. I think that's a whole separate conversation because we're trying to get people to the AJC, but it was noted. Um, so as far as what we talked about at the first meeting, I think we kind of validated it today and added some possible strategies. Anything else or any other gaps?
I just want to, this is Leah, I just want to echo the importance of the American Job Centers. I
Mhm,
think a lot of this could fall within, I don't want to speak for them, but could fall within their purview.
mhm,
Um, I think they still have monthly meetings of all the partners there where
mm,
I haven't been to those meetings in a while, but when I did go, there was a lot of sharing of resources, not only related to employment, but housing and education and, healthcare and new programs. And so I think the AJC can play a really important role in all of this, bringing together employers,
Mhm.
nonprofits, agencies, and everybody. I think they really could.
Okay, so maybe opening that to the community or whoever's interested.
Maybe. I don't want to speak for them because
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Eric's
No,
not
I
on the call,
understand.
but
Mhm.
yeah.
I understand. Okay, and we have 1 minute. Sorry, I'm going to throw it back. Do we have 1 minute? I always make this mistake, but throw it back to Cheryl for the last slide to wrap up.
You're so kind. So what are our next steps? We've had really a great conversation. Thank you for everyone who's here and those of you who aren't here but listening at a later time. Your thoughts and your recommendations are really powerful as we promote our contribution to the state plan. Working with the underrepresented groups and underserved communities is something we all should be doing. So our goal is to really focus on next steps. We're going to be setting some clear goals and measures of successes. Our KPIs are very important. We're going to offline some conversations for that. We want to track the progress of our pillar strategies. Those data needs and gaps are very important. I'm looking online to other states who are doing, I know Matt Stevens has brought up states like Oregon, their PRISM system is PRISM, not prison, PRISM, P-R-I-S-I-M, our P-R-I-S-M is very good, and how that might apply to potentially our workforce needs. We'll be identifying funding opportunities from all state, federal, and private sources to support our workforce initiatives. And today, I think we accomplished a lot. I think we have to continue visualizing how we measure progress towards our North Star, and also we have to kind of crowdsource the existing workforce activities that are foundational. And could you keep the slides up just still a little bit for me? Thanks. Because I'm reading from it. Or I can go to my other one if you want to do that. So crowdsource existing workforce activities that are foundational to the North Star success. Where are we stair-stepping these processes? What activities are going to happen at what phase? And of course, gaps. We've been talking about gaps today a lot. Gaps in funding seem to be our focus. Some really unique ideas about how we might engage nonprofits, but not just nonprofits individually. One of the best groups of nonprofits is the overall kind of arm of them, which is HANU. I love them, and I think that would be wonderful. We can reach out to them and see, where does this live? Is this something that you would want to take on as a group to reach your membership? We'll be discussing how this informs our metrics of success and our funding needs, and then all of the above, everything we've talked about today. Will be shaping the Synergy Summit report out, which is, I believe, in December. And again, data. Any ideas or thoughts or suggestions on how we can get, not just get the data, but look at other states, look at other organizations, see what they're doing, and see how we might replicate it. I believe that's all for our forum today, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Cheryl Cross. I would like to thank my colleague Rona Fukumoto from Lanakila Pacific, who's put so much time and effort into our slides today, our executive director, Bennett Misalucha, and our audience, who I couldn't see that her hand was up, Leah Days. Thank you so much for being here today. And for you
Thank you.
listening, thank you. If there's
Thank-
no questions, I think we can go bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Aloha.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.